find out on your own and learn for yourself that she really was cheating on you. And now you look stupid because all your friends was trying to warn you and save you the heartbreak before you got in too deep. Hey, this girl's just not for you. She for the streets. But you went against your own friends, your own people, because you trusted that in which was not good for you. And there's a lot of people, like I said, maybe it's just human nature. Maybe people got to find out for themselves. But people are painting Crawford as this hero. But he's not really the hero because he's finally suing the white folks. He's going along with this. Like, first of all, when Bob Arum and Todd DeBuff, right, told you before the Mean Machine fight that they can deliver Errol Spence when they haven't been able to deliver Errol Spence, and they say, hey, we'll give you $1 million, I would have questioned that. How are you going to now guarantee me this when you previously said Al Heyman was a robot, and you say Al Heyman's a cancer, and Al Heyman don't want to work with nobody, and Al Heyman's protecting his fighters, saying don't work with the white promoters? These are the things Bob Arum has said publicly. So what changed? And they also said that Errol Spence was afraid of Bud Crawford and would never take the fight because he knows what will happen to him. So if all these things that y'all put out were true, then how at that given point before the Mean Machine fight, how did all of that go away and you were confident to the point of wagering $1 million, $900K, that you could give Errol Spence to Crawford within a year? What changed? It's not like they started working together every day. They had one fight with with Wilder and Fury that was already established before Top Rank was even involved with Fury. And that's the only fight they really worked together. In the future, they did Porter. PBC wasn't a joint promoter in that. They just sent Porter over. Say, y'all worried about it. Y'all promote it. You did not see one ad on PBC for Crawford Porter like that. So what changed to the point where Crawford signed this agreement to fight Mean Machine with the pretense of Errol Spence as the bait? What made you think at that point you were going to get the fight when you already said he was afraid of you? When you guys already said Al Heyman won't work with you? When you said Al Heyman's going to protect Errol Spence and say, hey, we're brothers. We're brothers. We're happy and we're singing and we're colored. Give me a high five. Like, what changed to the point where Crawford believed and said, okay, I signed on the dotted line? What changed? You said Errol, Al, Heyman, nigga. You know what I'm saying? And you said that they wasn't gonna make the match. So why did Crawford sign that? That should have been a red flag right there. But wait, there's more. I'm cooking y'all so bad.
The Errol Spence fight, do you think that will happen next year? Obviously, we know Errol's been in a situation recently, but...
I don't think it'll happen next year. I don't think it'll happen the year after.
Bro, this interview was done after Errol Spence's car crash. He was asked to Bob Arum, who was then Terrence Crawford's promoter. Bob Arum just was asked, hey, Errol Spence was in the car wreck. Do you think the Spence-Crawford fight will happen? The first words out of his mouth, I don't think it'll happen this year. I don't think it'll happen next year. So this is all around the time frame of him doing the Mean Machine Spence bonus. So that is highly questionable. How is there an interview where he's being asked, hey, do you think the Errol Spence fight in Crawford will happen? And he just told you, I don't think it'll happen this year or next year. Why did you sign a Spence provisional bonus and not have questions when he just told you that Spence is damaged goods from the accident and he won't be back possibly ever? I mean, so again, some of it is Crawford.
The Errol Spence fight, do you think that will happen next year? Obviously, we know Errol's been in a situation recently, but...
I don't think it'll happen next year. I don't think it'll happen the year after. And it's not because promoters don't want it to happen.
And it's not because promoters don't want it to happen. Bro, this team has been all over the place. Terrence Crawford was with Bob Arum. Terrence Crawford, I just showed you. He said that Errol Spence is hiding behind his promoter. Right? That's what he said. He said he's hiding behind his promoter. Boom. He says Terrence Crawford calls out Errol Spence and furious rant tells him to stop using promoter as excuses. But then Bob Arum just said it's not gonna not happen because of the promoters.
I don't think it'll happen the year after, and it's not because promoters don't want it to happen.
This team has been all over the place, like I've maintained. So anyway, furthermore, how on earth did you expect that this man would be able to deliver Errol Spence, right? Or $1 million if he couldn't deliver Errol Spence. But the whole time he's been saying that he's losing money on you. So even if you're like, oh, I don't care because if he doesn't deliver Spence, he'll give me $1 million. But he was also had previously talked about you're not dynamic enough a personality and he loses money on you. So why did you make a bet and why did you think that why would he stay true? He's complaining about losing money on you. So why would he want to lose a bet and not be able to provide Spence and give you $1 million for not even fighting? I mean, bro, this is like you fell for the mousetrap. You fell for the mousetrap. You fell for the okie doke. You signed a contract for they might as well just put on as the header okie doke. This is the okie doke contract, and you fell for it. You fell for the mousetrap. He's complaining. First of all, I'm just gonna be real. Bob Arum is a cheapskate. Frugality is in his nature. Guys like Keith Thurman said the same thing. He said, Bob, I'll punch you in your ish for free. He said, Bob don't want to pay. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Ego said this stuff. Bob manages his business like Bob manages his business. It is what it is. He's frugal. Frugality is on the menu. So what on earth, even if he didn't deliver the Errol Spence fight, what on earth made you believe that he was going to want to pay you $1 million for real to not fight because of an inability to make a fight? That don't even sound like Bob Arum, especially when you consider the fact that Teofimo and Lomachenko were in negotiations and the fight almost fell apart over money because Teofimo was offered $1.25 million, Lomachenko upwards of $3 million. Loma was happy with his pot, but Teofimo was like, nah, I want a little bit more. And they almost didn't get the fight done over money. If you listen to what Bob Arum says about losing money with Crawford, if you listen to when the conversations about Teofimo fighting Devin, he'd be, I'm not paying Devin Haney that type of money. He got to stay with Eddie. This is how Bob Arum acts. When someone shows you who they are, you got to believe it. And especially when people like myself, Errol Spence, Mikey Garcia, Andy Ruiz, Keith, one time, you better not duck me, Thurman. All these guys told you their experiences or what they've seen. Floyd Mayweather and Crawford didn't heed any of these warnings. And then now he's out the woods because he's suing him. Bro, you should have seen this was a setup. And people have been trying to tell Crawford about the setup. And he didn't get it until finally he's a free agent. And now he gets it. I'm not impressed. Terrence Crawford, he'll never fight against Errol Spence. Like, if you're a carpenter or if you're a construction worker, you have to have some level of margin for error. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're putting, like, if you work with wood or something and you cut the piece exactly and it doesn't fit, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you make it a half an inch bigger. So at best, you can just use your small saw, circular saw, and then fine tune it. But you don't want, it's better to have more wood and then be able to cut it down than to have a piece that's too short that won't work in your configuration. You see what I'm saying? So you always have to have that room for error. And although nobody could have predicted really the global pandemic, I mean, that's why insurances and stuff exist, because it's not that you want a fire or flooding or tornado, but if you're in a tornado prone area, you know what I mean? It is what it is. Like, I don't hope for the worst, but I got renter's insurance just in case. You see what I'm saying? That's just how it goes. So, you know, based on Bob's frugality, in addition to going through a pandemic that nobody really expected, you know he wasn't paying that $1 million to Crawford. You know what I mean? You thought he was gonna pay $1 million. He probably lost money because of the pandemic. He definitely wasn't paying Crawford that $1 million, you know, honorably, most likely. These are the facts, people. These are the facts. So Crawford, he's complicit in this thing. Like, you know what it's almost like? It's like when people do crimes and you was going along with the crime until, you know, the person who was a known thief double crossed you, and you know what I mean? He's like, this is a person that's robbing banks, and then he's not giving you your fair cut, and now it's beef. So, you know, you tell on the whole operation or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like Crawford was complicit. He was an accomplice in some of this stuff, especially stuff like saying Errol Spence was ducking and he hiding behind promoters. That means you're going along with this, sir. And then now when it didn't work out in your favor and people are like, damn, why aren't you a bigger star by now? Why aren't you on successful pay-per-views right now? Now he's like trying to make up for lost time. But people like myself have always showed much respect to Terrence Crawford. Sura said he didn't like his cut. Hey, this man Sura's a maniac. That's what I'm saying. I've always showed Crawford respect. I've always, you know, respected his fight game, his gangster, but that doesn't mean he's infallible. I don't mean he made all the perfect decisions. And this is evidence of that. So that's my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think regarding this. It just looks like a mess now. Now the courts or whatever have to decide or settle out of court. But I seen this stuff coming a mile away. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Hopefully everyone has a good day. And I'm out. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We working.